So we're up to day 7 of my 30-day series of sharing my story, lived experience, and building a personal brand. Have you ever looked back and realized that something that you were so disappointed about that you didn't get, you realized that was actually the best thing that ever happened to you? Well, I've started to believe that rejection in the moment, when it feels like rejection, is actually protection or redirection. Because a few days ago, I drove past a restaurant that I desperately wanted years ago, and I fought hard to get this site. And I could see the vision, and I could see it all happening, but I was really disappointed that we missed out on it. At the time, it felt like this huge setback. But when I drove past it the other day, I had just one overwhelming thought. I thought, thank God I did not get it. And looking back now, I can see why I wouldn't have been able to do it. The restaurant was way bigger than what I thought it was going to be. It would have stretched us financially, and I would have been locked into this massive big lease, like 5 or 10 years. And then not long after that, I realized I was burnt out, and I made the decision to sell the businesses and completely change the direction of my life anyway. So if I'd been given that restaurant, I would have felt trapped. I would have been tied to another 5 or 10 year commitment. And that's the exact time I needed my freedom to step into my next chapter. So I don't look at that time as a time of rejection. I look at that as a time of redirection and protection. So these days, I'm thinking about the fact that I'm regularly pitching for keynote speaking opportunities. Sometimes it's about working with clients as well in my program. And sometimes you hear the word no. And honestly, I realize I don't take all that personally anymore. I simply just move on to the next opportunity because I know the clients and the right doors will open at the right time. See, I've always noticed something really interesting. Sometimes the people who say no to you now come back later down the track. They've seen what you've been doing. They're watching your growth, and suddenly the timing is right. So that's why I never let rejection knock me out of the race, and I just keep showing up. So if you're in a season where things sometimes feel hard, or you've been hearing more no's than yeses lately, just don't lose heart, don't lose focus, and don't let any rejection make you question yourself, because sometimes it's not rejection. Sometimes it's just protection or redirection. And sometimes it's simply just not yet. And I've always loved this mindset, this or something better. So that's the right opportunities. They always just come up. They'll show up when the timing is right. And also, the dots usually only make sense when you look back. Just like I realized those restaurants were not right for me. And at the time, it felt like a real disappointment. But when you join the dots and look backwards, you realize that the timing was absolutely perfect. So I want you to follow along as I turn my stories and my lived experience into a personal brand, one story, one lesson, and one day at a time. I'll see you tomorrow.